Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome to the latest edition of JNS Farms live streams. I hope everybody had a good week. We did for the most part. We had a couple things happen that weren't the greatest, but take it all in stride, I guess. Hello, Kitty's Homestead. It's so nice to see you. Haven't seen you in here for a while. Thanks for stopping by. Hello, Living Like Claire. You are first. You are first. Claire, I was actually able to make it to part of your dad's live stream today. Usually not in the house at the time he does it, so I'm usually out doing chores. But I caught the tail end of it. Southern Yankee Homestead, hello. How are you today? Ma and Pa Park, Susan Sullivan, good morning. What you guys are looking at right now is on our pond, we have two geese that have already staked their claim to the island that we have out there. And they are a different pair than last year. Last year's pair would kind of stay off to the distance and didn't really want to have anything to do with us, but this pair will come pretty close to the shore. I think they've had some human interaction before, so they're actually pretty friendly so far. Hopefully that doesn't turn around and be a bad thing, especially once they start setting on their nest. The gander usually does become pretty aggressive, so hopefully that doesn't backfire on us. But so far we've got two. We haven't had any contenders show up just yet, but I have a feeling that we will. There's usually some pretty spectacular showdowns that go on in a fight for that island out there. That's prime real estate for those guys. So this is our first pair that has showed up and staked claim to that island. Hello, Bandana Grandma. Oh, okay, Kitty. I gotcha. That's fine. Well, thank you. All right. Susan, you're listening and watching. Okay, I'm going to give everybody a couple more minutes here. Today, I don't really have too much of a topic, but I figured we could talk a little bit about how our homestead kind of pays for itself, a few ideas on how to make money on your homestead, maybe go over a little bit of record keeping, things like that maybe. So just kind of a mishmash today, and if you guys have any questions about anything, any topic, anywhere, anything that you have question-wise, please feel free, and please put it in all caps so that I can see it. And if I don't end up seeing it and read it, please keep reposting it so that I can see it. This is a show affiliated with the Homestead Network, so please keep that in mind. There may be children watching the chats, and please keep everything family friendly. And there are a couple of shows on tonight that we have from 8 to 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. We have Freedom Acres. And from 9 to 10 o'clock, we have Big Bear Homestead. And Robin will be giving her essential oils class, which is always a good time. And so if you get a chance tonight, please go check those shows out. Mother of Many Horses, your crocheting is upstairs, and I don't feel like going up to get it. Oh, it's just too far, right? Too far. But anyway, I'm still working on my crochet project for the 4-H fundraiser that we're going to be doing. It's coming along nicely. It's looking really nice. It's I actually have a picture of it here. I'm going to show you guys here in just a minute. But anyway, so it is now 11:05, and Looks like we have about 10 people watching now, so that's good. I'm going to go ahead and get started. This week on Thursday, I'm really excited. I am going to be attending the Mid-Missouri Grazing Conference. It's there in Kansas City, Missouri. So, hello, Krista. I'm going to be attending this. I'm rather excited about it. As you can see, they've got all kinds of topics to cover, and this is the first year that I've attended this, so I don't know what to expect. If it's like most of the conferences that I've gone to, it should be pretty straightforward, but I'm rather excited. 3 floors up, yeah, not too far. Yeah, but that's too many stairs, mother of many horses. I always contemplate whether the laundry downstairs is really, it's time to come get that, or worth all the hassle of bringing it up. Yeah, conferences are really fun to go to, Kitty. You meet a lot of interesting people. Sometimes you see people that you see at many different conferences. There's a guy that I go to conferences, and I actually look for him to be there because he usually is. And I come up to him and I say, "Hey, stranger, nice to see you again." And I don't even know his first name, so, we introduce each other every time, and I still can't remember his name. But anyway, so I will be attending this. I'm rather excited about it. This one actually does cost money to go to. There are a couple others that I am going to be attending, and they are free. So any conference, you want to make sure that if they have a fee to get in, usually they'll have like a pre-registration, and it's cheaper if you pre-register. So always keep that in mind if you find a conference that looks nice and maybe you want to go to. So it's cheaper to go to one if you pre-register, if they have a fee to go into. This one, they provide the meal and everything, so I don't have to worry about taking a meal with me. All right, so next thing, really quick, my contest that I'm having, it ends tomorrow, so if you want to get in on that contest, please go to, I posted a video this morning reminding you, and then also I have a video, it's labeled thank you, and that has all of everything that you need to do in order to enter the contest. So please go check that out. Tomorrow is your last day, and I will be drawing on Wednesday morning. My kiddos are going to draw for me, and the winner will get to choose for me to make something. So I have a couple pictures here of just some of the things that I make. This is a baby hat and baby booties. I can make these if you have somebody that is going to be having a new baby. These are always really fun to make. I made these for Children's Miracle Network. They have a silent auction, and I donated those to the Children's Miracle Network so that they can raise some extra money for that. And then, of course, this is the blanket that I'm currently working on. This is the old picture. It's much bigger now, but this is a double crochet stitch, and it's kind of like a drop down. Obviously, it can come in many, many colors. I did an Afghan that I gave away for my 1 year on YouTube. And that thing took me over a year to make because it was gigantic. It was for a queen size bed. So anyway, I can make a baby blanket. I will not make a giant Afghan, but I can make a baby blanket. Or a lap blanket. I'd probably be willing to do a lap blanket, but you'd have to be willing to give me a little while to get that done. And then I also make hats. This is just an example of one of the kid hats that I make. It's My Little Pony. This one is Rainbow Dash. I have made all of them except for Pinkie Pie. I have not made Pinkie Pie yet. So, yes, I agree, Bandana Grandma. Children's Miracle Network is an outstanding charity. Yeah, and St. Jude's is as well. Oh, Ma and Pa Park. Got a baby due any day. Was hoping it would be born today. I know it's hard waiting sometimes. It's like a little present that you never know when it's gonna arrive. So anyway, um, I will make you something. I can crochet you something. I can make you a rag rug. I can make you anything out of denim. I have so much denim. It's coming out my ears right now, guys. So I can make you a denim rug. I can make you a lap blanket out of denim. I am currently working on one of those. For another thing, I'm going to donate it to so that it can be auctioned off. Um, I can make quite a bit of stuff as long as it's not something too big that's going to take me forever, because I'm getting into my busy season and it needs to be something that I can finish in like a month or so. So the winner will get to choose what they want me to make, and I will make it for them and send it to them. So anyway, all right, let's see. Hello, T. Teresa. Thanks for stopping by or stopping in. Oh, today is your birthday. That would be very cool. I had my first daughter on my brother's birthday. That was pretty cool. They share a birthday. She is my New Year's baby. She was born December 31st, so she was my New Year's baby. Oh, and happy birthday, by the way, Ma and Pa Park. I hope you have a good birthday. And thanks for tuning in to my show on your birthday. You love a denim apron, Susan Sullivan. Yeah, I made, I think I have them in a video somewhere. I made some denim aprons for my sister and her daughter because she loves to cook with her mom, so I made them a matching set of denim aprons. And I think they use them all the time, so. Anyway, okay, so, I already talked about the geese. Okay, so me and my kiddos this weekend, we had a fun time, me and my husband and my girls. We went on a 4-H excursion, and this was for their wildlife project, and we went up to Clarksville, Missouri, and we went and got to, it's an event hosted by the Missouri Department of Conservation, and we went to Eagle Days. It's an event that they put on, that they have live eagles there. They had this bald eagle, and they also had a golden eagle there. They did a presentation on them, and they had a video that you could watch. And then they had all kinds of materials that kids could use and read and learn from. They had all the statistics on them. They had a lot of different things for kids to do there. It was cold in that barn. I think it was 30 degrees on Saturday, so we all had our winter gear on. But there's Cassidy and Caitlin, and with the eagle in the background. The funny story about this eagle is he was illegally kept as a baby, as an eaglet, and raised by people, so he was human imprinted. And those people decided that it would be okay to release him into the wild, and they found this eagle in a Cabela's parking lot, and he was begging people for food in this Cabela's parking lot. And the lady that was giving the demonstration, she goes, and if you could imagine this bird with this giant wingspan flying at you, trying to beg you for food, how scary that would be. And I had to think, that would be pretty scary, because those talons, one of the things that they said, their talons have 2,000 pounds of squeezing force. I don't remember what the exact thing was, but 2,000 pounds of force in those talons, and it's like, whoo, no thank you. That lady holding them said that she could, even though she has that protective glove on, that eagle could crush her hand if he wanted to. So, anyway, I thought it was an interesting story of how they got this eagle. He was 20 years old, and they expect him to live to around 30 or so, since he's in captivity. Um, yes, Kitty, it would have scared that out of me too. Yes, Mother Many Horses. It is sad that people actually keep these birds and illegally. And anyway, so now he lives in the World Bird Sanctuary there in St. Louis, Missouri, and they were talking about that, and it's a really neat place that they have, and we now want to go visit the World Bird Sanctuary there. They have all kinds of raptors and different birds that they are trying to bring back, and different efforts that they're trying to do. So anyway, and this is a station that they had. They also had, Missouri's fur bearers and things. They had a station where you see the fur, you see the print, and you got to guess what animal it was. Cassidy got all of them right. Caitlin was incorrect on, I believe it was the otter, but she did pretty darn, or no, the beaver. But she did pretty darn good on it as well. Yeah, I imagine, Kitty. She says that I have two eagles who live in my backyard. I am always very aware of them, and so are my chickens. I bet your chickens are always looking to the skies for that. We have a couple of red-tailed hawks around here that have taken up interest in my chickens, and I'm not very happy about that. So there's not really much we can do about it because they are protected. The raptors here are protected federally, so there's not anything we can do about it. But I'm really hoping that they leave them alone. They've been circling. I'm not happy about it. Anyway, so that's what we did this weekend, and it was a good time. The girls had a great time, and so did we. Let's see, what else do I have for you here? Okay. Alright, I guess I'll just go ahead and show you some of the pictures that I have here. From just around that we had a pretty good frost this morning. So I was out taking some pictures. And let me see here. Let me find it. I am not finding it here. Hang on. Sorry, guys. Well, please tell me I put it on here. Oh, here we go. Mongo was kind of my main attraction this morning. He was being silly. There was a frost on my goat milking station, and I thought it was really neat. He was standing there, and then I picked him up, and there's his little paw. He melted the frost, and he had a little paw print image, and I thought it was pretty cute, so I took a picture of it. But and then we have Mr. Mongo. This is a post that's outside of that's one of the corner posts for our chicken pen. He was perched up there. This was right before he jumped on my head. A little stinker. He's always riding on my shoulder when I'm doing chores. I was doing an update video this morning for you guys to remind you of the contest I had going on. I posted it this morning, and he was perched up on my shoulder the whole time I was trying to talk, and he is a stinker. I love him to death, though. Anyway, and then, okay, so right now this is frozen, but we have been dealing with mud. Mud has been our biggest, struggle right now. When this melts, this is where we take the skid loader in and out to go over to feed our cows, because we house it in our barn over here, and the cows are on the other side of the yard and in the other pasture. And the mud has just been ridiculous. So anyway, so there's the mud situation we've got. And then we'll eventually, once the spring rains and everything are over, we'll go ahead and we'll level this out again and make it look pretty again. It was nice and smooth, and it's not anymore. And here is Miss Astrid. She is growing very nicely. She is, her and her sister are just in love with each other. They love to play. Ziva loves her as a buddy. So they are doing doing great and getting along. They've only had one little spat that was a little scary, but other than that, they've been good sisters. So it's been a bad year for mud this year too. Yes, Mother of Many Horses, mud is just like, and I'm hearing that it's going to be a wet spring, so we'll see. But anyway, so those are a few pictures that I had for you today. The little pigs are doing good. I've only gotten 2 of them sold, but on February, let's see here, 24th. No, can't see that far. February 24th, I think. We will be taking them up to the sale barn and just getting rid of the rest of them. Mother of Many Horses, don't say that. Yeah, well, you know. I hope it's not as bad as it was a couple years ago. That was ridiculous. I planted so many tomato plants and only like 15 of them survived because it was so wet and just ridiculous. So, oh, hi, Tina G. Thanks for stopping in. You haven't really missed too much. I've just been kind of updating everybody on what's been going on this last week. So, all right. So the recipe for the week here, guys. I have apple blossom cookies. Oh goodness. Okay, I am not very organized here. Hang on. All right. Apple blossom cookies. Or excuse me, not apple blossom. Good grief. Peanut blossom cookies. I don't. Why did I write that? I wrote apple blossom cookies on my notes here. Why did I write that? I don't know. Anyway, peanut blossom cookies. These. This is a recipe from my grandma Frances. She makes these all the time, and they're so good. I kind of like them without the Hershey's Kiss on them, but you know, you can do either one. The ones that I make without the Hershey's Kiss, I just use my fork and put a little pattern in them, and it's all good. And they are super, super good. And they are kind of a little bit of a pain in the butt to make, but for the most part, they're pretty simple. Because you do have to roll them into a little ball and then put them on there. So anyway, I will leave that up for a couple minutes here. The breed highlight that I was going to talk to you guys about today was the the Orpington chicken. Now the Orpington chickens, they come in 4 recognized colors, and that is the buff, which is the color that most people are used to. They come in black, white, and blue. So those are the 4 main colors that the Orpingtons come in. Now, Orpingtons are one of my favorite breeds. They have been ever since I was little. They have always been one of my my favorite breed. They've always been my favorite breed. The buffs are my favorite color of this breed too. They are a very large dual-purpose bird, which means they're good for meat and they lay really well. They have a very good temperament. They're very docile birds. And they are excellent foragers. They are ones that will, if they see you working somewhere and you don't want them in there, they'll be there in a heartbeat. They are all about foraging and they dig things up like severely badly. So I am going to have to fix my chicken pen so that they must stay in the enclosure that I have them when I start planting my garden, because they have unplanted things before and it doesn't make me very happy. So anyway, so the roosters, they grow really quickly, so if you want to use them as broilers, they work really well for that. They are very excellent table bird. They have very good flavor to their meat. They taste really well. They have The roosters usually do keep a really good temperament. They don't get aggressive normally. Not to say that they won't, but they normally keep a really good temperament. And they are very gentle with their hens. They're not bullies for their hens. So they're usually pretty darn docile, and they're very good with their hens. This is our rooster. This is Sunny, and he is our Buff Orpington rooster. He is 5 years old at this point. We got him right when we came here, and he always comes and greets me every morning. He's got spurs that are just gigantic, but anyway, that's him. That's what they're going to look like. And now your hens, they are also very docile. They're good egg layers. They lay brown eggs, and as they get older, the eggs get larger, and so they are very good mothers, and they go broody very easily, and they stay broody. It is hard to break up a broody Buff Orpington hen. They will get a little temperamental. They will puff up and tell you that they do not want you to even be messing with them while they're sitting on their nest. And I have one that she is so protective of her nest. If she's decided to go broody, you reach your hand in there, you better have some gloves on, because she is going for blood. Otherwise, she's a pretty docile chicken. She'll, come up to you and beg for food. And anyway, so they are a very nice bird and very beautiful, I think. They originated in England by Mr. William Cook in 1886. He used several breeds to get this breed established. Yes, Kitty says they are very cold hardy. Yes, they are very cold hardy birds. They do a very good job in cold situations. For the most part, the roosters don't have too many issues with their combs freezing. Now, if it gets down to sub-zero, really, really cold, bitter, Sonny has gotten a little bit of frostbite on his comb, but not a lot. Usually if you see a 5-year-old rooster, he usually will have a slick comb because his points have already been frozen off. But he still has a lot of his points on his comb. So they are a single comb breed, and they have white skin. So if you are wanting to raise some of these birds as broilers and sell them, they have the white skin that most people are used to. So marketing them, if you were going to sell them, would probably be a little bit easier, since they do have that white skin. The roosters are going to average around 10 pounds at full maturity, and the hens are going to average around 8 pounds at full maturity. So this picture here of this hen, this is one of a hen that went broody, I believe it was last year. As you can see, she just has a bunch of just mixtured little chickens. I do not separate out my roosters, although I will be doing that this year when I'm breeding my salmon faverolles. I will have a rabbit tractor, or good grief, a chicken tractor that we're going to build, and that way I can ensure that we have the salmon faverolles and they're going to be pure. Now, if you want to do that, if you have just a mixed flock and you want to have just a certain breed that you want to hatch out, you want to make sure that you separate the hens from the roosters for 14 days to ensure, because once they're inseminated by a rooster, it can take up to 14 days for them to not to be valid anymore. So you want to wait about 14 days and then start saving the eggs from that chicken once you have the rooster that you want her to breed to. So yes, they are a very good sized bird. Sonny is a very, very large rooster. He is he's one of the bigger buffs that I've seen. He's probably pushing 11 pounds, would be my guess. Ma and Pa Park. I have posted twice, but don't see it. I see this one, so maybe post it again if you have a question. Um, okay, so keeping in theme, the book that I have for you guys today is going to be, let me get in here, The Farmer's Office, and it is by Julia Shanks. This is a new book that I purchased last year. I have read it, and it is an excellent book. If you are wanting to turn your homestead into something that is going to make you some money, she really breaks it down really great for you guys. And she says it's all about the numbers. Know your numbers. And she gives you a lot of good advice as far as keeping your records organized, your financial records. She does a really great job of explaining it in layman's terms, because that's something that I needed. I needed somebody to explain it to me in layman's terms, because I'm good at keeping my finances together, but when you go and talk about it with other people, I kind of get lost sometimes in some of the lingo that they use. It's just the way my brain functions. I have a certain way that I say it, and then somebody else says it another way, and I get a little confused. But she breaks it down really nicely and does a really great job at explaining everything. She has a lot of different experiences. She takes you through some of the other people that she's helped with this process, and it just came out last year, so this is a new book. And I was rather excited to get it. I was waiting for it to come out because I read there were no reviews on it, so I just kind of bought it blindly. Normally I would wait a little while, but I did want to go ahead and purchase it, so I did. And yeah, its copyright is 2016, so it was published last year. And I really, really enjoy this book. And it's not dry. It's not boring. She does a good job at keeping it to where you're not just sitting there drooling down your face like, oh, how long do I have to keep reading this? No, Kitty, I don't have an Amazon affiliate. I probably won't. You can use somebody else's if you know of somebody else that could use an Amazon affiliate part. So go ahead and use somebody else's. Let's see. Oh, okay. So maybe it was over 200 characters then. Okay. Anyway, oh, my house phone's ringing. That's all right. My cell phone will start ringing here in a minute, I have a feeling. It must be somebody that most of my family knows that I'm on live right now. So it probably is somebody that doesn't know that I'm on live right now. Anyway, so that is the book that I recommend for you guys, since we are going to be talking a little bit about the homestead and making your homestead profitable, or at least having your homestead pay for itself. So this is a really good book on that topic, and I've got a few other books that I liked to use as well. Actually, I've got one sitting right here. I'll show it to you. I didn't get a chance to get the picture of it up there, but it's also a good book. And it's a really interesting read as well. It's called The Profitable Hobby Farm, and it is by Sarah Beth Aubrey. And she's got a lot of examples of different farms. She's got a lot of good practices that you can get into. She does talk a little bit about the legal side of everything. Here in Missouri, they have a new farm bill that passed, so there's a lot of new laws and regulations, and they've made it to where, I don't know if your state has it or not, but most horse professionals have a sign that they post in their barn somewhere where everybody can see it. And it basically states that if you're injured in this facility, this is a professional horse facility, if you are injured due to these animals, it is not the professional's fault, and you're basically on your own for any medical bills that are ensued if it pertains to getting injured by a horse. So you enter the barn at your own risk. Now they have modified it to allow farms and things like that. So it is actually a good thing, and I need to purchase this sign from them and hang it somewhere on my farm, because I do have people come out and see our farm, so that would probably be a good idea for me to go ahead and get one this spring before I have people come out. So anyway, mother of many horses, I'm going to assume that you're talking about the horse sign that you have to hang up, or that they hang up. But anyway, basically says, I'm not at fault if you get injured here. This is it protects farmers and horse professionals. Okay, so as promised, I have a trivia question for you guys, and the very first person that I see in the comments answer it correctly gets an extra entry into my contest. So, as promised, I will go ahead and do that real quick before we get into the other things I wanted to talk about. So, get ready. I've kind of gone easy on you guys today. The last couple of questions, I know it took a little while. People had to Google it. So, this one, if you know much about chickens, you should know this. Should know the answer to this question. So, very first person I see. Okay, what is the average number of days it takes for a chick to hatch? So you put the egg in the incubator, how many days later should it hatch? What's the average days that it takes for that egg to hatch? This one should be pretty easy for most of you guys. You can put it in weeks too if you want. Weeks is acceptable as well. Ma and Pa Park, you are the very first one I see. So I will write your name down here. And you have an extra entry into the contest if you haven't already entered it before, which you probably should, because tomorrow is your last day. Yes, the answer is 21 days. Some chicks can take 2 days before or 2 days after, but the average days is 21 or 3 weeks. So there you have it, 21 days. And okay, let me write your name down real quick here. Let me write it down. I don't want to skip it here. All right, and that one was pretty easy to type in. The last one I asked you guys was about the free martins, and it took a few minutes for people to figure that out. I guess they had to get on Google and figure that one out. But I try to make them a little bit challenging for you guys so that, if you have to look it up, you'll always remember what a free martin is. I guarantee it. You'll always remember what a free martin is, referring to cattle. So, all right, I got you written down, and I will go ahead and put you in the hat. Yeah, turkeys are 28 days, Mud Pie. All right. Hi, Mud Pie Girl. I don't think I said hi to you earlier. I didn't see you sneak in there. All right, so on the homestead, there's a couple options that you have. You can either have your homestead pay for itself, or you can actually make a living. You can make a decent living on a homestead. It won't be anything life-changing, but you can carve out a really nice life for yourself on a homestead. You can either make it pay for itself, or it can be just pure hobby if you want, if you don't want to make money, but you just enjoy doing it. And I will say that some years are better than others. Weather takes a lot into consideration, especially if you're doing more of a gardening type situation. Weather is your biggest either ally or your biggest enemy. So if you want your homestead to pay for itself, that basically means you want to cover the cost of the homestead if you want it to pay for itself. If you want to actually make money and have a profit from your homestead, then you will be earning money. You want to cover your cost and then some. So here we do try to make money because this is my job. We make a very modest income. Our main income revenue is our cattle. Unfortunately, this year it's going to be a lot less. So I'm going to have to find ways to earn some extra money in different avenues. I may breed some more rabbits and sell more rabbits. I may go ahead and sell some broilers this year. I did not sell broilers last year. I only raised enough for our consumption. So I may go ahead and try and make some money on some broilers. If I can get some free chicks, it'll be an even greater profit margin. And keeping excellent records if you're going to be trying to make it work as far as making money. You need to make sure that your records are kept up to date, because if you don't know how much your input is, you're not going to know whether you're making even or if you're making a profit. So keeping that in mind, you need to make sure that you have records kept really well, and receipts are a very big thing when it comes to that. So before you sell off your homestead, you need to make sure you check your local and state laws. Some states, it is absolutely 100% illegal to sell raw milk. Bar none. It is illegal. In other states, they have what's called a cottage law. You can sell off your farm, but the people have to come and get it from your farm. That's how it is in Missouri. And then in other states, you can sell it to anybody. You can take it to anybody. You can sell it to a grocery store. They can sell it. You need to make sure you check your laws thoroughly, because if you don't, you could end up in a lot of hot water and end up costing yourself a lot more money than you intended, and a lot more money than you could actually make. So proper licensing, you need to check into the licensing. Here in Missouri, if you want to sell a dozen eggs, you have to have an egg license. Yes, that license is only $5, but it's just one more expense. So if you want to sell eggs legally here in Missouri, you have to have an egg license and adhere to the egg licensing laws. So make sure that you check into anything that you're going to sell or make a profit on your homestead. Check those first. It is very, very important that you do that. Let's see. Another bit of advice is look at what you already have. Or if you're just starting out, yes, you're not going to have much, but grow very slowly. Allow yourself to not become in debt. You don't need that $5,000 chicken house. Our chicken house was a shed that somebody was going to throw away. So we went, and for the cost of gas and moving it, we've got a 8-foot by 12-foot chicken house, a shed that we turned into a chicken house. It was free except for the cost of gas to go and get it. Yes, it was an hour away, but if you look at the big picture, you know, at that time, I think it was maybe $40 in gas. So we got a nice big shed that we turned into a chicken house for $40 if you look at it that way. Yes, Kitty, I refuse to do that as well. She says, I refuse to go into debt to homestead. I'm trying to do cash for everything. That is a very, very good way to look at it. Okay, so Mother of Many Horses says it's no egg license required here, but it's illegal for raw milk. Yes, Susan Sullivan, I know a lot of people that do that. They sell the raw milk as pet food. And what you do with that milk after you take it home is your business. So I know somebody that she does that, and they sign a waiver saying this is for pet consumption only, and they take it home. She has a lot of customers. They know what the deal is, but pet consumption only. That's one way you can get around it. Oh, yes. Sorry, I did not hold that up very long. The Profitable Hobby Farm, How to Build a Sustainable Local Foods Business by Sarah Beth Aubrey. And this is actually a very entertaining book. She does a very good job writing it. It's not dry at all. You can get it on Amazon. I forget how much I paid for it, but it says here on the back that it's $19.99 in the U.S. And if you're in Canada, it'll be $23.99. So there you go. It is. She does a really good job writing, and she also has what does she call them? Farm highlights, I think it's what she calls them. She talks about other people that are doing just different things. So, okay, some other mini horses wants to know if the price of beef is down or we have fewer calves. And actually, I have to, I had one other thing up here that I skipped over, but I didn't mean to, I promise. So we have fewer calves this year. As most people know, the calves, we only have 3 calves to sell this year. 3. That's it. And the reason being is, first of all, Louise, she prolapsed on us, and her calf was born breech, and the calf did not make it. The calf died before we could get it out. And secondly, so little Mr. Champion, he was born on an extremely cold day. I knew he was going to lose his ears because I knew that they had been frozen. And as most of you know, he was born, his tendons were not very strong at all. He knuckled over when he walked. About 3 days later, he started walking normally. And since he was so young, I figured, okay, he'll be fine. I was extremely worried that his hooves had been frostbitten. And so I've been watching him really closely, and I was so worried about it. And 2 weeks after he was born, he wasn't doing any normal activities that a calf would normally do. Normally they're bucking and kicking and romping and just having a good old time. He wouldn't do that. He wanted to lay there. It was almost like he didn't want to walk anywhere. So I got to examining him with what he would let me do. He was a kicker, by the way. So it was a little difficult. He was a kicker. And unfortunately, I did notice there was a band of his flesh right above his hooves that was starting to separate. And I knew then that we were in trouble, that he was in trouble. Unfortunately, it did happen. His hooves did get frostbite. And I went out one morning and one of his hooves had fallen off. So he just had his little nub there. And unfortunately for a calf, you can't have a 3-legged cow. So I was really worried about that when he was born, but then I thought, okay, well, he's up walking, he's doing all right. When he started not acting like a normal calf, I really started to worry that had happened, and unfortunately it did happen. So we did have to put him down, because it was the kinder thing to do for him. We are going to eat him because there's nothing wrong with his meat, and there's no point in letting it go to waste. Yeah, there's not going to be much, but it's better than it going to waste. So, yes, Bandana Grandma, hard things happen on a homestead, and it's very hard because he was such a young calf. But Susan Sullivan, he got frostbite on his hooves, and unfortunately, they fell off, and it's one of those things where there's nothing you can do about it. So So it costs $1.20 a dozen to have them graded. I'm going to assume your eggs to have them graded. And Farm Fresh run about $6 a dozen. Woo! I wish I could get them prices, Tina. Ew. We get $3 a dozen for ours. That would be nice. We end up making, let's see, I have it all written down. As far as cost last year, or no, this was 2 years ago that I figured out the cost on the we make a, oh gosh, I can't remember. It's a pretty decent profit margin if you look at it. So, what did it do to the calf, Susan Sullivan? His hoof fell off. He got frostbite on his hooves, on both of them actually, and they fell off. It's a lot like if somebody gets like on your toe. If your toe gets extreme frostbite, you're gonna lose your toe. It's gonna fall off, and that's what happened to him. And yes, we are using the meat from the calf. We are using the meat. We are going to be consuming him. Right now, he's still hanging up. He's outside hanging up, and we usually like to. We're gonna wait about a week. It is cool enough outside. It's been in the 30s here during the days, 35 somewhere around there, and it's staying cooler at night. So we will be going ahead and working him up sometime this week. So. Eggs are $2.50 a dozen here, Susan Sullivan. All right. Oh, okay, Susan. You lost your stream, but I'm catching up now. Okay. All right, so back on topic. I did forget to mention that to you guys today. So, Little Champion, unfortunately, is no more, so we only have 3 calves. And to answer your question, also, Mother of Many Horses, the market is down right now. But the futures are looking good. If you look at the futures for cattle, they're looking up. So I'm hoping that they are correct. So when we go to sell this fall, hopefully they're up again to where we'll make some decent profit on the 3 calves that we do have. So fingers crossed that that happens. All right, so okay. One other thing that you might want to do, especially if you are wanting to set up your homestead to make money, is you're going to set up your goals. You want to set a list of goals that you want to achieve. And I set long and short-term goals. Long-term goals are 5 and 10 years out. Short-term goals would be more like 6 months or a year. And you want to go back and revisit them and update them as many times as you want. Because things change, you know. I did a sketch of where I wanted everything on the farm when we first moved here, and what I wanted to do and where I wanted to do it. That's completely different than my sketch today. So it's evolving as it goes, but at least I have kind of a rough outline of where I want to go with the homestead and what I want to do. And I try not to make anything permanent until I am 100% certain that it is a place that I want that to be. So kitty, that differs by region. So you want to contact your local extension agent, and she or he should be able to tell you that. She asked, what do you say is the minimum per acre per cow? Here in Missouri, it's 3 acres. But if you go out west, out in Wyoming or something, it's more like, I don't know what it is out there, so I can't give you an exact number, but it's a lot larger acreage, because it's just different situations. So, the mom of the calf, she didn't really understand what was going on. We handle our calves enough to where she was comfortable with us handling it. She mooed for a couple of days looking for him. Now she's fine. She doesn't seem to miss him at all. So usually when you wean a calf, you take the calves away and they will bawl for a couple of days, which is, they'll move for a couple of days and they'll just move on. And she has went ahead and done that. So she's no longer looking for him. And she only had a couple of weeks to really form a bond with him. So it wasn't too tight of a bond. The heifers that we kept back from a couple of our other cows, they have a very tight, strong bond with their mothers still, even though they're yearlings. They have a very good bond with their mothers still. So, you know, it's always sad, and I cried. I cried for her because I couldn't even imagine. But, like I said, it's one of those things. It was for his benefit, because it's really no way for a calf to live, and I'm sure it was excruciating for him, even in those 2 weeks to have to walk around like that. So anyway, I've got to stop talking about that. I'm going to start crying. Bye, Susan. Thanks for stopping in. So you also want to let's see here. You probably want to write down why you want to do it, why you want to homestead, because sometimes you're going to ask yourself, you're going to run into situations, and you're going to be so stressed at that point, and it's going to be like, why did I even want to do this? Why? And if you go back and you look, and you have written out that question, and you're like, okay, that's why. So writing down why you want to do it is a good idea, and have that in a space where you know you can look it up at any time whenever you're like, I want to quit. So reminding yourself why you're doing it and know your end goal. Now, if you're wanting to make money on your homestead, you want to come up with a business plan, which is always a good idea. Okay, so I asked because here we only need 1 acre per cow, but that hardly seems enough for a full-size cow. That does seem, I don't know where you're located, Kitty, but that, I don't think anywhere would be enough. Now, in Missouri, when I say 3 acres per cow, that's enough grazing area for her to have throughout the summer season, so that she can maintain herself. And when I say that is on an established pasture that has been maintained well, that has good soil health, has the cool, warm season grasses and legumes, all kind of a good mixture of everything. So if you have a pasture that is not, if you have a pasture that is subpar, that is kind of sparse in vegetation, only has cool season or warm, there's not a good mixture of everything, now you're going to have to up that pretty good. So on average in Missouri, it's usually about 3 acres per cow. So in New Jersey, see, I'm not certain what your geographic area consists of, so I don't feel comfortable answering that question because you're way far away. So you may call your local extension agent and see if they can help you. And if they can't, try and contact some local farmers in your area. They might be able to help you out. Mother of Many Horses says, because I'm a glutton for punishment. Sometimes I feel that way, especially on days it's hard. Yeah, that's good. That's a good thing for horses, Mother of Many Acres. Horses do require quite a bit of pasture land. So when you're starting out, write a business plan. And here's just a few things to think about when you're getting it together. Know your initial startup costs, kind of get a rough estimate of that. Know what your labor needs are. If you're going to be able to do it yourself, or if you're going to have to bring somebody in, you're going to want to know how much you can handle, and if it does become too much, you're going to have to be able to back that off. because you can only handle so many things and you can only do so many things in a day. Don't get yourself so overwhelmed that you want to quit. Know your infrastructure needs, like the housing of your animals, the fencing. There's a saying, good fences make good neighbors. Very true. You want to make sure you have good fencing, because if you have a goat and say your neighbor has a prize-winning rose garden, your goat gets out and they're no longer prize-winning roses, that person is not going to be happy. So good fences make good neighbors. And make sure you grow slowly. Growing slowly is going to be your biggest benefactor. Don't overwhelm yourself to begin with. Try to keep it at a minimum. Start with 1 or 2 things. Like chickens are the gateway for homesteading. Chickens are great to start with. Rabbits are easy to start with. And if you have not been around the larger livestock, I do recommend that you go somewhere and you have some hands-on experience with these larger livestock and learn the safest way to handle these livestock. Cattle can hurt you. They may not mean to, but they can hurt you. If you're getting into the larger livestock, you want to make sure that you know what you're getting into if you've never done it before. And if you having several smaller enterprises, smaller different things that you can get into, is going to be easier than having all of your eggs in one basket. That's why I say our cattle are our main income source. They're the things that make us the most money. But we also have other things, like we sell extra produce, we sell butchered rabbits, we sell eggs. This year I think we're going to go ahead and sell some broilers. We sell butchered hogs. And that allows, if one entity fails, you lose money on one, so another one can kind of pick up the slack a little bit. So hopefully, if you have a few different things, your loss will be, it won't sting as bad. So you have to think, we lost 2 calves this year. Right now, in today's market, a 500-pound calf, let's see, I didn't look at the futures last week, or I didn't look at the market last week, but on average, that's going to be about $1,600 to $2,000, depending on the markets. That's a lot of money that we're not going to have this year, so we have to try and make that up somewhere. Let's see here. Oh, good grief. Other thing, I skipped a whole list here. When you write out your business plan, you want to also keep in mind production. How will you produce your items? How are you going to do it? Like a garden. Will I produce an organic garden? Will I produce a pesticide-free garden? I want to do grass-fed beef. Know how you're going to produce these things. Marketing. Know your target market and get your name out there. Do a lot of different ways. All kinds of social media are available today that you can get your product out there. There's a lot of different ways that you can do that. Pricing is the hardest thing for me, because I don't want to overcharge somebody, but yet I want to make sure I earn a profit. My time is worth something, not just a break-even point, but I want to make sure that my time is worth something as well, and it is. Oh, bye, Bandana Grandma. So thanks for stopping by. And then know how you're going to distribute your items. How are you going to get your items to market? And know where you're going to sell them. There's farmers markets, Craigslist. There's all kinds of different ways that you can sell your items. And then let's see. me see if I missed any questions here. Yeah. Oh, so you're gonna head south, Kitty. That's cool, towards Tennessee. Bye, Mother of Many Horses. I hope you're not already gone. Thanks for stopping in. Okay, so I'm going to real quickly run through a few things that you can do to make some money on your homestead, and then we'll call it quits because I'm not over time too badly today, just 5 minutes. Okay, so as far as animals, you can do breeding stock. With chickens, you can. So we're going to talk about chickens, ducks, geese, and turkeys. You can sell breeding stock. You can sell eggs. You can sell them butchered. You can sell their plumage, their feathers, and their down from your geese. You can sell their manure. There's a lot of people around here that sell chicken manure to gardeners in town that don't have chickens. And then you can host some care classes if you're really good at doing that. You can teach people how to care for them. As far as your gardening, you can sell seedlings. You can sell seeds. If you're good at saving seeds for your heirloom, if you raise heirloom vegetables, you can sell your extra produce. You can do a you-pick garden, a pumpkin patch, corn maze. You can do gardening classes. I am currently working on doing some gardening classes for kids. I almost got my curriculum set up. I've been working on getting it put together, and now I am going to hopefully get my flyers put out here soon, so that hopefully I have at least a few kids interested in it. So that way, I'm a firm believer in if you get kids in the garden early and you teach them how it works, and they get like so addicted to it that they want to do it when they're bigger and when they're older, I think that that's just a really great thing. And that's what I really want to try to do, is start at the kid level and go up. So hopefully I can get some more kids addicted to the gardening or the homesteading thing. So, method to my madness. There's also value-added products, dried herbs, salsas, chutneys, jams, jellies, prepared frozen meals, meals in a jar. What else? You can also make things that people can put in their garden, like gardening benches, toad houses, vegetable markers, raised bed kits. You can make a raised bed kit and sell that. Homemade compost barrels, potato barrels, portable greenhouses, compost. You can make your own compost and sell it. There's just a whole bunch of different things that you can do in your gardening. Those are just a few different things. That I've come up with. Okay, so as far as cattle, goats, pigs, rabbits, and sheep, if you keep male animals, you can stud them out. You can sell their manure. You can sell them as breeding stock. You can sell ready to butcher animals. You can sell the specific cuts of meat from each species. You can offer, again, care classes for them. With the goats, you can sell their milk. You can make goat huts and sell them. Milking stands you can make. Hay feeders for them, you can make those. With cattle, you can go grass-fed or conventional. You can make mineral licks. You can make feed troughs and sell those. For pigs, you can make water and feed barrels for them. We use a 50-gallon barrel and just you can buy a pig nipple waterer, and you just screw it into the 50-gallon barrel, and you have a pig waterer. They don't make a giant mess, and it's a lot easier to water a pig that way. You can make some farrowing huts and sell those. With sheep, you can sell their wood. You can sell feed troughs, salt and mineral licks, hay feeders. You can do that with many of the other fiber animals as well, like alpacas, different things like that. And then just some general things, handcrafted items or services. You can do woodworking projects like toys, furniture, cabinets, animal housing, and feeding things like troughs and things. Soaps, beauty products, homemade candies, breads, pies, cookbooks, fiber arts, things like crochets and knitting and different things like that. Um, you can set up a bed and breakfast. You can set up a U-Pick operation, farm classes. You can host weddings and parties if you really want that many people at your homestead at the same time. You can do like a little mini petting zoo, children's birthdays. That would be something that you could get into. And then just a few other little miscellaneous things. With my worms that I just got, you can do bait, and you can sell worm castings. You can sell fish and honey and firewood, mushrooms. My neighbor down the road has gotten into raising mushrooms. So, fruit and berries. You can set up a U-Pick fruit and berry operation. That takes a little while to get set up, but that's another thing that you can get into as far as making money on your homestead. So, Grizz, you are late. You, sir, are late. Anyway, so let me go. I haven't been watching the comments. Let me see if I can catch up on any that I missed. Okay, so, oh, you were just talking with with Mother of Many Horses. Oh, I went too far. Okay. How many calves can a cow have per year? One is typically what you want to stick with. Now, their gestation is 283 days. My dad once had a cow. She was a Jersey cross cow. She had a calf in January and immediately got bred back after she had her calf, and she did go ahead and have another one that fall. That was extremely hard on her, and I do not recommend doing that. He had to kind of separate her and make sure that she did not get bred back after that second calf. Just simply because she had to gain her strength back. It was very hard on her. And he didn't know that he didn't get the bull separated out quickly enough. So it wasn't a mistake on his timing part, but in his defense, usually cows don't cycle until about 45 days after they've calved. She cycled almost right away, which is very unheard of. So one calf a year is typically what you want. Let's see. Well, not last year, but the year before last, calves were selling, a 500-pound calf was selling for $1,600 a piece. Now the market's back down to about $800 to $900 a piece for that exact same calf. So for a few years, we really did enjoy some good prices for cattle. Now they're kind of back to where they usually are, but it was nice because, of course, it was nice when you're on the selling end, but if you wanted to, say, get into cattle at that time, it would have been a very expensive endeavor to do if you wanted to get into cattle when it was the one that was in the higher prices. And a lot of times, if you do that, the cattle market does, kind of a roller coaster thing, and if you get in on that high note, and by the time you get to the point where you're going to be selling calves, now if you bought bred cows or bred heifers, it wouldn't be as bad, but by the time you get back to where you're going to sell it, it's usually down, the markets are down, so you're not going to be, your profit margin is not going to be there. So anyway, usually one calf per year is what you want to do, kitty. Oh, you were on the phone. Okay, well that's all right. I'll forgive you this time, Gris. All right. If I was to play nice, y'all would think somebody had jacked my account. Uh, Kitty, you're so funny. Oh goodness. Yeah. Kitty, we enjoyed that for like 3 or 4 years. That was nice. Um, you're just really after the milk anyway. Yeah, that's what our Jersey cow is for. And she came in handy when we had to bottle feed that calf, Champion. Um, I save. I call it liquid gold. I save her colostrum, and there's a few other farmers around here that know that I have it, and they come and get it if they need it. So, um, now that's for a calf. Those prices I was talking about, that's for a calf. Bred heifers. I watched a set of bred heifers run through the sale barn. I was sitting there, watched them run through. $2,400 per heifer. I about died. Now, okay. These heifers were the epitome of what you wanted to have as a cow. They were beautiful heifers. I mean, I would really like to own these heifers, but I really would not want to pay that price for them either. Sticker shock. Sticker shock. Now, they were bred heifers, mind you. So they were going to be getting their money back out of them. Well, it would take them 2 years to make money back on that calf. So you go through a gallon a day here, Kitty, of milk, Kitty. My brother, when he was younger, he'd drink a gallon of milk a day. That boy, and he's over 6 foot tall now. So, yes, it would be cheaper to just buy the cow and then have it bred. Now these heifers were in the third period, which means they were in the last part of their pregnancy. So he would be getting his money back, at that fall, or not. He wouldn't be getting his money back that fall. He'd have to breed that cow again and then sell that calf again. So 2-year investment on these heifers and 3-year investment if you wanted to make money on these heifers. And that's if all the calves survived and the heifers themselves didn't have any issues like prolapsing or they lost their calf. My dad had a heifer last year. He checked on that heifer the night before, and he went because he knew she was ready to have. And the next day after work, he came back home to check on her again, and her and the calf had died. The calf was hip locked, and it's one of those things where you can watch them all you want, but sometimes those things happen. And so this heifer, this 2-year investment, it was one that he'd raised, but this 2-year investment of feeding her and caring for her mother and everything else, it was a loss. So Riley Fringe. Grez. That's not nice. 2,400. What breed? Tea Tree so wants to know. They were Angus heifers. They ran through. They were Angus heifers, and they were not registered, but they were Angus heifers. Now this, I'm not talking about like last week. This was back when the market was crazy high, like crazy, crazy high, and the futures were going up at that time. It was insane. I about fell out of my chair when he said sold, and it's like, man, I really wish I was the guy selling those heifers. That check, and I believe he had 30 head of heifers that he sold that night. I would really like to have had his check. I would have really loved to have that check. I figured, Grizz. I didn't think you could do that to a cow. Plus, the damage to your vehicle would probably cost more than it would take to purchase one and have it butchered. So, anyway. Okay, so any more questions? I'm going to jump off of here. I am now 20 minutes over. I was 5 minutes over, but, you know. Any further questions or anything you want to know about, feel free to ask me. Otherwise, I will see you next week. I'll give it a few minutes here. Please do not forget to go and enter my contests. If you want me to make you something, the winner, I will make something. Yes, Kitty, that was a very good lump of cash for some cows. And also tonight, please make sure you tune in from 8 to 9 o'clock. Let me double check. Don't want to get this wrong. From 8 to 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, you are going to have Freedom Acres. She does a lovely show. And from 9 to 10 o'clock, you're going to have Robin from Big Bear Homestead. She's going to be doing her essential oils class. So please, please, please go check those out. And they are a good time. And that's all I've got for you today. So, you have a tough time butchering your roosters, Grizz. I bet you wouldn't have a hard time if they were mean. Oh, well, thank you, Maddie Ray. You're so sweet. I enjoy doing my videos and everything. I do it for fun. I know here lately I've been really bad about getting things posted, but it just seems like I'm running here, there, and everywhere, and I've got some video shot. I just gotta get it edited. I've got 10 different people pulling me in 1,000 different directions, so anyway. Chris. Cats are easy to butcher. Stop that. Anyway. Alright, guys, so I will see you next week. Noon Eastern Standard Time. I always get that. I always mess it up. So, noon Eastern Standard Time. I will see you guys next week. Before I go, any suggestions on a topic for next week? Anything you guys want to see, and I will try to make it happen. Otherwise, I will just pick a topic at random and talk about it. So, go ahead and put that in the comments, and I will read them as they go through. So you guys, thanks for stopping in, and I hope you enjoyed the show and I didn't bore you too badly. And we'll see you next week. Bye.